Hi, everybody. I am Holly Celiano, and I have on Mr. X, brought back by popular demand. So he's unable to do a screen share, so he's just going to talk to me via Zoom. So, welcome, Mr. X. Welcome back to the show.
Yeah, it's been a couple years, Holly. And
It's been a while.
yeah, before we get started, I'd like to thank you for your reporting with diligence and honesty about trying to keep people up on the RV info.
Thank you.
There's there's a lot of people out there giving disinfo, and they know who they are. But I thank Holly for her diligence in getting the people the info.
Thank you. And I'll say, I don't have all the information, but I do my best to bring you the most up to date, honest, no BS, and no hopium information.
And that's what we appreciate, Holly.
Thank you. So, the name of today's show is called Rip the Band-Aid Off, Part Two, because when you first came on my show, you just ripped the Band-Aid off. And you used to call it back then, years ago, it was a shit show that had gone on way too long. Well, here we are years later, and we're still here. So what do you say?
Well, it's gone from shit show to a monkey fucking a football or a clusterfuck. Take your pick.
Yes. So we thought it was going to go years ago, as did many, and we're still here. And people are frustrated, people are dying. Um, they're losing their homes. They don't have money to get medical assistance. And we're all still waiting. And people are very frustrated with how long this has gone on. So, what can you say to that?
Well, go back to a couple years when we did the first rip the band-aid off.
Mhm.
Who did a follow-up video and threw it in our face because he was on a cruise ship down there in Antarctica?
Well,
Is it
I know
was
who
that
you're talking about.
107?
Yes. Hmm.
Yeah. 107 did that. Well, we're here to rip the band-aid off again, Juan. I don't give a shit if you don't like it or not.
So, what do you want to tell the audience after this long? Because you're in the trenches with doing different operations and things that you do. And what are you hearing from your side that you can share with everybody?
Well, it seems like there's so many bad actors still involved in this thing, putting out disinfo. You go back to 19 when whoever was in a Trump mask said, within a year, we're not going to have a need for hospitals because the med beds are coming out. Well, that was 6 years ago. Where the hell are the med beds?
Hmm.
It's just stuff like that. Anymore, you cannot tell a white hat from a black hat. That's how stupid this thing's getting. It's almost like you want to go find out who are the 10 behind this thing associated with Q and sit them down in a chair and say, what in the hell's going on? You know,
We've all been told it's a military operation. So, do
if
you agree with that?
if this is a military operation and they got it looking this stupid, I question who in the military is running this thing. You got people out here hurting. You got people who need to get healed. They need to get in a med bed. You got other people with needs. We've got to get our humanitarian project started. And we're pushing 10 years and it's still not out yet.
I agree. It has gone on quite a long time, and people are very frustrated with the delay because every week people are told it's happening, and it just keeps dragging on.
I'm in contact with Wiz, West Coast Wizard, and he tells me that yeah, we're going to get the EBS EAS soon. Yeah, but I told him, look, we've been waiting on that for 10 years. What's the damn holdup? Evidently he's got inside information, but he can never give me a drop dead date for this thing kicking off.
I don't think anybody can because even in my circle that I talk to, it doesn't matter how high up you are, they still are kept in the dark about a date or the timing or when anything's going to happen. And I was told very early on that only a handful of people will know exactly when this goes.
Well, I'm beginning to wonder if this handful of people, if they're not compromised right now, because this thing should have gone off before now. We shouldn't be sitting at the 10-year mark and no EBS, no mass arrest for the public to see. And then we got the damn construction going on at the White House. Well, that's part of the 34 satanic buildings supposed to get taken out by rods of God. So what are we going to build a construction project at the White House for if it's not going to get hit by rods of God?
Yeah, there's a lot of things that we have been told and heard were going to be happening. And you start to question, okay, so if we've heard all of this through the years, why isn't it happening? Where is it?
Yeah. Well, and then you see that entity on the interweb as Mr. Pool. That guy needs to be found and put on a plane and sent to Gitmo because none of his information ever turns out. He's as bad as Bruce with the RV.
Yeah, there's a lot of people out there that give uh, what I want to call hopium. It feels good. It's feel good information, but it does a disservice to people that believe it and hang on to this, expecting that these people putting this stuff out are legitimate and giving the most accurate information.
Well, just like that little stupid catchphrase, trust the plan.
Right. And that does get old after a while,
Yeah,
especially
what
when
they
it
don't
drags on.
Yes, what they don't realize is a lot of good patriots have been so damn frustrated over the past years that nothing's happened that they've lost them,
I
you
agree.
know.
So, what do you want to tell everybody that you can share from the channels that you are involved with? What do they have to say about all of this?
Well, I want to first start off with over the last couple of years, I've experienced in the little town that I'm near. I don't make it into town quite a bit due to what I'm doing. But when I go into town, I get into the grocery store, inevitably, I will hear over my shoulder ladies running down the aisle said, "Oh, he's here. He's here." And they'll come up and they'll grab me, tackle me into the shelves and say, "We listened to the report. They keep saying the RV is going to happen. This is going to happen. The Social Security increase for us is supposed to happen. Da 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 da." So what I did the last couple of years is I monitored that stupid report at Restored Republic and listened to the info that they've been putting out. And there is no way you can convince me that that is a white hat military operation. It looks more like a CIA spook clown show over there, giving people false hope, BS information, because that Social Security increase for seniors, oh, that's been a year now. They keep throwing it back a month, kicking the can down the road. So, and I tell these ladies when they do that to me in the grocery store, I said, stop listening to that report. Everything is disinfo now. You can't trust anything. And I'm a little bit irritated at Mary because she does a spinoff report from that report. And I've emailed her, don't get a response back. I've emailed Restored Republic. I don't get a response back from them. So that tells me it's a CIA clown show. And these people who are in charge of that report, and I don't care if they say it's Judy Byington or not, people that really don't even know who Judy Byington is. She's Mitt Romney's sister. Well, we know everything about Mitt Romney. He's a rhino. So I wouldn't put any validation in Judy Byington report. So, that's where we're at with that. So I get no email response back. So I just think it's a joke. People need to call them on the carpet like I have done, and stop kicking the can down the road with false information. These people need to be hunted. They need to be hunted, arrested, cuffed, put on a plane, and sent to Gitmo. This is ridiculous.
I agree. It is. It just feels like we're in a constant loop where we just keep recycling the same information over and over, and we're not getting anywhere. It's always the EBS, the EAS. This has to be done, that has to be done. I mean, granted, there are things that have happened recently that we didn't know needed to happen. Like, did we know that Trump needed to go back to England and meet with King Charles? And I know there was a bunch of signing of documents while he was there. Was that part of something that had to happen in order for this to move forward? Well, if it was, it's been years that they've waited for that. Maybe there was a time frame where it had to happen after, I don't know how long it was when he met with the Queen of England. Was that 2017? And he
Yes.
basically did the same thing. Maybe there was, it had to wait so many years before it was finally finished. I don't know.
Yeah. Go back to 17. That's when that happened. And we were told back then, it happened back then. And all of a sudden in 25, he's got to go back. The optics of this thing do not look good. And if they want to claim their white hats, they suck at optics, because this does not look good at all. I'm sorry. And I really don't care who is in a Trump mask. I don't care if it's Elvis or whoever. The mask have to come off. This shit show has to end, because people need to heal. This is a psychological warfare for the last 10 years that everybody needs their brain wiped in a med bed so they can heal. There's so many sick people out there, and it's not due to anything other than mental health problems. I mean, they say it's, oh, we need more people to wake up. Well, the shit show with the King protests told you how well that's working.
Right.
What are they going to do next? Are they going to protest King Richard Petty? In the 43 car? Come on. This is getting so stupid.
I agree. It's gone on way, way, way too long. So, to those that are listening that have influence over this plan, what can you say to them? Because you've been involved in the trenches of this for a very long time. For those that don't know, you were part of when Bill Clinton was held at gunpoint and signed NESARA into law. You were one of the people there. So, just a little history on your involvement through the years. So, you've dedicated your life to this movement. What do you have to say to those who are still running this show?
Well, I get more irritated at guys like Wano Sabin, because he stated for years he doesn't want the RV, he doesn't want Nessera. He, and when he says that, he sounds like an idiot elite. He doesn't sound like he's for we the people. He sounds like he's elite, you know. Back channels, I'm told he's good friends with JFK Jr. But you got to ask yourself, who's compromised now? You know, who's really giving good info out there, or who is making money off this shit show that shouldn't be making money off the shit show because the shit show should be over. That's where I'm at with this whole thing. You can't trust anybody now. White hats look like black hats. It's a joke.
It is very confusing. And for those of us that have been involved for so long, the longer we hang on and nothing happens, family questions our sanity. They do. Like, you're still believing in that. You're still waiting for that. When are you going to realize it's not happening? I mean, that's what I hear from family.
Yeah, I know. I know. It's sad.
Hmm.
It you know, we all were given the dream of having all the good things happen. JFK Jr. fake plane crash. I mean, I go back to 1999 when I was in Wayne Willett's office in Bellevue, Washington, and I went in there to get information from Wayne about someone I was doing an investigation on that he may have crossed paths in a prior report. And when I walked into Wayne's office, he knew exactly who I was, unannounced to me, and he went on and on and on. Probably told me a lot of classified stuff or secret stuff that he wasn't supposed to tell me. But since they did their background check on me, they knew who I was and they knew I was a white hat. And he talked to me about the fake plane crash and what's coming, and I'm going to be so happy, this, that, and the other thing. And I had no idea what he was talking about at the time. And it wasn't until 2020 where I was on a social media site. I can't even remember which one. I get banned off everything out there. Uh, Someone came into my chat and told me, "You remember that time in Wayne Willett's office in Bellevue, Washington?" I said, "Yeah, I remember it quite well." He said, and I was told, "Did you know that JFK Jr. was in the closet when you were having that meeting with Wayne?" And I said, "Hell no. What in the hell was he doing in a closet for? He should have came out and shook my hand." So, and the reason why I brought that up is 107, folks, is not Wayne Willett. I knew Wayne Willett. Okay. 107's not Wayne Willett. So stop calling him Wayne Willett. He's just using his name and identity. Why? I don't know. But I spoke with the real Wayne Willett. So stop calling Juan Wayne. So
Okay.
I don't know.
So
You
doing,
know,
go ahead.
Holly, I just wish I had great positive news to bring, but I don't. I mean, I watch social media. I see what people are putting out there. Nobody's calling this damn thing a shit show. Everyone needs to start calling it a shit show. Maybe someone will get the hint. Okay, the American people are sick and tired of this bullshit. Let's go. Let's move this thing forward. Move the needle. But I don't have anything positive to say. I've just looked at other avenues to try to uncover these frauds. But there's a whole lot more people who need to be on a plane to Gitmo. I'll tell you that much.
I agree. Well, I know with what you're doing, there is, I guess, an infiltration here in the United States, which you are doing a cleanup on that, correct? Can you say that, or should I not talk about that?
Taking out the garbage, yes.
Okay. Yeah, because they have infiltrated our country, and it's
Well,
always been, it's not an invasion, it's an infiltration, is what's happened over the course of the years.
Well, here's another thing, Holly. I did not know about this because I did not get into the circle of this OnlyFans bullshit. But if you look into OnlyFans, and I have extensively, you got a corrupt owns OnlyFans. Now, why would you own OnlyFans? Think about it, folks. It has to do with money. And this guy's as corrupt as hell. And he uses CIA and Mossad to run the girls. They call them management. So since when I've been on my kick about OnlyFans and that corrupt who owns OnlyFans and their piece of shit Mossad handlers and CIA handlers, all these gals out there are handled by Mossad and CIA. And what they do, you give them personal information to get into those stupid sites, and now they got you. They start hitting, scamming on these individuals who've given up their information, credit card information. It's another thing I've uncovered, and I've been hit with a rash of Mossad bullshit for the last 3, 4 years. It's amazing. And if people don't know who Mossad is, let me break it down to you. Our CIA listened to Mossad. They take orders from Mossad. Mossad tells CIA to bend over the table, they will bend over the table. That's how bad these son of a bitches are. So don't underestimate Mossad. And who are they affiliated with? Why are we defending? They're not our friends. But then we got a fake Trump out there in a mask. Every time he turns around, he's kissing up. They're not our friends. They're our enemies. Stop supporting Israel. And that's who Mossad works for.
So, are you saying Trump is not really Trump?
We have been told that everybody's in a mask. Trump's even said he's central casting. Now the question is Trump really alive? Or was the Hilo crash in 89, did it really take Trump out? And if so, who's been playing Trump since 89? They lead us to believe it's a Kennedy Jr., some other people associated with that family. We don't know. Lately, they're saying that Elvis is playing Trump. Well, that doesn't wash with me because Elvis is about 4 inches shorter than a 6'3" Donald Trump. But who's to say the real Donald Trump, if he is in fact real, this in a cave in Cheyenne mountain, I don't even know that holds true anymore. Everything's a shit show. You can't believe anything nowadays
I agree. It's
because
very confusing.
well, yeah, this shit show should have ended 4 years ago and it didn't. And all you people pissed off at me because I keep calling it a shit show and say this thing should have ended years ago. Think about it. I'm right. You're wrong. Stop getting pissed off at me about it. I'm the only one out there saying it. If you would join the bandwagon and start saying it more on social media, maybe this shit might end.
Yes,
I don't.
it is. It's a crazy, crazy world we're in right now. It is. And they say there's over 200,000 people wearing masks, playing all different people. So you start to wonder, well, what's what? And when is it going to end? Because it is a
Yeah.
psychological warfare that's been played on us for all these years.
Yeah, you got those damn Freemasons. They're behind a lot of this shit too. And people out there, well, my grandpa and my great grandpa were Freemasons. Well, they're a bunch of fucking idiots. Freemasons are the problem part of this shit show. There ain't no good Freemason. You know, we were told early on that they're all going to be rounded up. Well, I still see guys in the little area that I'm at with their stupid Freemason hat on. And I'm saying to myself, man, I can't wait till the shit show ends. I know right where I'm coming. I'll make sure you get on a plane to Gitmo.
So, as we're coming up to our time, do you have something else you want to say before we end today's podcast?
Only thing I want to say is this Q group, these 10, 7 military, 3 non-military that we've heard about for 10 years.
Mhm.
What kind of bullshit you guys pulling? The shit show should have been over by now. You know? Do you do all 10 of you guys need plane trips to Gitmo? Huh? Get in front of a military tribunal? You're losing patriots due to this shit continuing. I mean, you don't need me to tell you if you have half a brain. You can see all the patriots leaving the movement. They shouldn't have left. You're more worried about the woke who are never going to wake up. Look at the protests last weekend. I don't care if those people were paid or not. Get a clue, Q group.
Well, it is what I don't like to hear, and I've heard this through the years, that they need to wake up the people that are still asleep. And at this point, and I've said this even years ago, if they're not awake by now, we're not going to wake them up. So why do we all have to suffer to try to wake up people? It just doesn't
Bingo,
make sense.
bingo, 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 bingo. If
Mhm.
we have to reverse the Reagan crap of doing away with mental hospitals and we got to start building mental hospitals again to put all these woke people in, let's do it. If they're not awake by now, they're not going to wake up. I'm
I agree.
sorry.
I agree.
Just move the needle. Let's go before you lose all the patriots in this movement.
I agree. All right. Well, anything else?
I just wish I had some positive, happy feel good for you, Holly. Maybe you can
Well,
have
let's try to end it on
107.
a happy note. So, what can we say to make it a happy note?
Well, you have 107 on. He'll give you some happy feel good BS.
No, from you, what's a happy note you can leave us on?
Oh, Lord have mercy. Keep the faith. We got to get through all the bad actors, but the RV and Nessera are coming. I don't care what Juan says or all these frauds in the background. Don't listen to them. It's coming.
All right. Well, that's a good spot to leave on. So, leave us on a happy note. Well, thank you for coming,
Uh,
and we'll have you back on again. Thanks.
all right. Thanks, Holly. Bye bye.
Bye bye.